Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's video from the Inktwell. Just in time for the holidays and all the way from China, this is the PenBBS Snow Desk Pen. What makes this pen so special? Well, as you'll see later, it features their fine Snowflake pattern nib. So let's go ahead and take a look at this interesting pen. The first thing we're greeted with is a white, nondescript outer box, but PenBBS puts their quality control sticker on the outside, showing that this particular pen passed its quality control on October 22nd, 2018, and shows the price for 278 won. It also gives the description as the Snowflake tip with fine nib. Inside the outer white box, we're greeted with the PenBBS logo stamped into a black cardboard outer cover with red sleeve. It's a very well-built box, and for the price you pay for the pen, it adds a nice little bit of elegant flair that makes this a nice purchase. Inside, we have the pen itself nestled in to a foam bed. This desk pen features a very well-done white acrylic with a translucent flare and almost a stone-like pattern. You can see the converter and the outline of the nib underneath. Another thing of note is the pen's length, as you can see here, as it's laid across an A5 Rhodia dot pad. And here, you can see the feature that gives the pen its name. The snowflakes are etched into this polished steel nib, also featuring the PenBBS logo. Another added feature is this O-ring that allows you to go past the cartridge converter aspect of the pen and actually use it as an eyedropper. I didn't do that for this review, but I've done it with a PenBBS before to great effect. Included, though, is the standard PenBBS converter. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the writing sample. For this writing sample, we used Diatramentis Atlantic Blue. The writing experience was rather pleasant, mainly in part due to the tiny flare that PenBBS puts on the tip of all of their nibs. Now, let's take a look from the side at this writing sample. For a steel nib, it actually had quite a bit of forgiveness for my heavy hand. One drawback though, although the pen flowed very well, I must say that the nib itself does tend for a rather dry writing experience, as you can see here. It's not a bad experience, but definitely one that I would consider somewhat to moderately dry. So let's go ahead and go over the pros and cons of the PenBBS Snowflake pen. The first pro is kind of obvious. This pen only cost $30 with shipping from China, and with the packaging that it came in, that is an amazing price. So shipping and price at $30, thumbs up. The next pro is obviously the nib itself. Not just the snowflake pattern on the nib, but the actual nib and the way it's shaped. That little flare that they put on the end. has a really good feel to it, and it makes it a very smooth, fine nib with good flow. The third pro for me is actually the versatility of the filling systems for this pen. Like I said earlier in the review, with that O-ring, you can eyedropper this pen. So that gives you cartridge, it gives you converter, and it gives you eyedropper in a stunning acrylic body. Now, my fourth pro circles back around to what I said when talking about price. At $30, the packaging that you get with this pen is exceptional. Now, granted, Pilot does good packaging with the Metropolitan, but you've got brands like Lamy and Kaweco and Platinum that fall short. It's not all upside with this pen, however, and there are a couple cons. The first of which is the amount of time this pen took to get to me from China. Now, here on the paper, I put that it took about 2 weeks to get to me, but when I looked at my initial order and I looked at the date that it finally arrived, it arrived 3.5 weeks after being ordered, and the box that it came in was in extremely rough shape. And my second con for the pen really comes down to personal preference. I like shorter to medium length pens, and this is frankly a desk pen. It is extremely long and for me, slightly uncomfortable. Some users, though, do find these longer pens to be more appealing. In the case of this pen, Phil from Philosophical is actually going to enjoy this pen, hence the reason he wanted me to buy it for the review. Me, on the other hand, I'll stick with my smaller pens like my Kawecos and my Nakayas. Those tend to be the perfect size for me. So when we bring the pros and the cons together, my overall feeling of the pen is that it is a solid 7 out of 10 pen, but still a good purchase at $30. So thank you for joining me on this brief look at the Snowflake Nib PenBBS desk pen. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to their Etsy store down in the description, which you should check out. Along with this pen, they've got a great selection of eyedroppers, flex nibs, and occasionally you'll even see a vacuum pen pop up there. But you're going to have to be quick because those tend to fly off the shelves within minutes. I'd also like to thank my Philosophical co-host Phil Olin for purchasing this pen so I could go ahead and review it. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have done it without him pushing me to, and I would have completely missed out on a feature-rich budget pen. Now, if you want to pick up like the Rhodia Dot Pad or the Diatramentis Atlantic Blue, head on over to channel sponsor Pen Chalet, where you can click on the radio podcast link at the top of the page and enter Inktwell for your site-wide discount on everything. If you liked the video, click like. If you didn't like it, click dislike. Don't forget to subscribe, follow the channel on Twitter and Instagram at The Inktwell, and support the channel at patreon.com/The Inktwell. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week.